Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is about to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some like love. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. In a moment, we're going to be discussing asexuality in regards to love and love in general. So, love is not the same as sex. Sex is not love. More about that in a moment. So if you didn't know who I am Sandra Birmingham, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, A Celebration of Asexual Diversity book. As you can see, I've used it quite a lot, and it's got 47 real-life asexual stories, telling their perspective on love, life and sex. So check that out in the link in the description below. So welcome to the final day of day 7 of Asexual Perspectives. Not Asexual Perspectives, Asexual Awareness Week. I was reading from my Asexual Perspectives book yesterday. So Asexual Awareness Week. And so if you didn't know what Asexuality Awareness Week is, it's all about basically raising awareness of asexuality, trying to educate people more about asexuality and really putting the word out there. And this is very, very important because a lot of people, they don't understand that there are people out there that don't get the need, urge and want for partnered sexual intercourse. They're not interested in sex. They don't like it. They don't want it. They don't need it. And that is very alien to many people in this highly sexualized world. And so this is what ends up being the problem with relationships. The majority of people in the world are heterosexual, and they associate sex and love as being the same thing, as being one. Like if you have sex, it means you love someone, or maybe not. You can just have casual sex, but basically, if you love someone, for them, sex goes hand in hand with it. So basically, love without sex is just kind of weird, ludicrous, strange, not normal, and something they can't comprehend. But let me tell you something. That sex is definitely not the same as love. Love definitely is not the same as sex. So if we look at this in the grand scheme of things, there are people that experience sexual attraction, lots of people in the world, right? And sexual attraction is a pull, is an energy towards a specific person or people. And it's where you get this thing in your brain that says, oh, I really want to have sex with that person. And you kind of get this need, this urge, this want to just, I really want to have sex with them. You know, that is what sexual attraction basically is. It's a need, urge, want for partnered sexual intercourse. And so asexuals, pure asexuals, if you like, those that don't experience any sexual attraction whatsoever, they don't look at someone and have those thoughts or feelings. Right? It just doesn't enter their brain. If it does, it probably some sexual person that put it there, and it's kind of like, ooh, it feels a bit uncomfortable and unnatural. Right, but unfortunately, because the world we live in is still highly sexualized and a lot of people in the world are heterosexuals, it makes getting into a relationship very, very difficult. Now, heterosexuals still struggle themselves with relationships and being able to maintain and sustain a successful, happy, healthy, loving relationship, even though they're having sex. And the reason why a lot of relationships fail, a lot of people can't get the love they're looking for these days, is kind of twofold. One is obviously there's still a good proportion of the world that's highly sexually attracted, and the sexual attraction blurs their reality of how a person would be in a relationship with them long term. So they're so taken in by the chemistry, the sexual attraction, the euphoria. They feel the dopamine hit they get from sexual attraction. They're so kind of hooked on that they overlook the qualities that would be needed to sustain and maintain a long, satisfying, happy, healthy relationship, right? Because you cannot base a relationship on sex, right? If you want tons of sex, you know, a relationship shouldn't be based on that foundation, right? Any successful relationship is based on two people or more if you're polyamorous, but say we're talking about monogamous relationship, two people, right? Two very different human beings that probably would likely have some similarities, some things in common, commonalities, right? Now, asexuals would more likely have some of these things in common if they're looking for an asexual relationship. But sexuals tend to be very proactive in seeking a relationship because, excuse me, sexual attraction is so important to them. And sadly, a lot of the time when I'm in the asexual communities, I find many asexuals aren't proactive. They're in dating groups, they're on dating sites, but they're not actually actively pursuing a relationship. Liam, hey, beautiful Sandra, great to see you. Oh, lots of love to you, Liam. Great to see you too. Thank you so much for being here. So, so what happens is, you know, like sexuals have, you know, the lust and everything, and they have this sexual attraction going on. But that isn't love. Sexual attraction isn't love. Sex isn't love, right? And love is not enough alone to have a successful, loving, committed relationship, right? You know, just based on love. You've got to have some other stuff going on as well, right? You could have really strong feelings for someone. You could really, really love someone. But you might find that you're incompatible in lifestyle. You might find that you're incompatible in goals that you want, ambitions and dreams. You might find that you're going in two completely different directions in your life. And as much as you love that person, you know, if you're heading completely different directions, want different things, haven't got so much in common, that's not gonna likely be a sustainable relationship, right? Especially if you want to both be in different parts of the world. It's not going to happen, right? It's not going to be viable for a long-term, committed, serious relationship, right? So love and even a relationship has got nothing really to do with sex as such. Sex is one thing that some sexuals like in a relationship, the physical element of a relationship that they like or enjoy. A lot of asexuals don't like that or enjoy it. Not every asexual is the same. Some asexuals don't mind it. Some asexuals like it as an activity to do. But in the main, a lot of asexuals don't want that. We don't need it. We it's not fundamental to our relationship and whether we can live and be happy, because we've got so many other different types of things to attract us. We've got the personality, the commonalities, the shared life goals, ambition, and dreams. And this is what sexuals should be focusing on as well, not just their lust and their sexual attraction, because that isn't going to be sustainable to hold a relationship together, right? And a lot of people, sadly, are going so much online these days that they're living in fake realities. And they're not willing so much to meet up with someone in person. Now, if you don't know, if you haven't watched the news lately, the UK is going into a national lockdown again because of COVID, which happens this Thursday, which, you know, we've just gone into Monday now. So, you know, I appreciate that this time in the world, there's a lot of people that can't meet up for the social distancing reasons. I do appreciate that, but there's certain times when you may be able to do it, like you have been able to social distance and stuff like that and meet up. But the thing is, with an internet relationship, you've got to make sure you speak to the person on the phone, make sure you video chat with them, because just texting is not going to give you a very good idea. And you have to try and meet up when's feasible in person, because you have to have a real relationship. Liam, I am generally an incompatible person. Thank you for sharing that, Liam. So yeah, so you know, in order to have a long-lasting, sustainable, committed relationship, right, there's sexuals, and they just so focused on the sexual aspect, the physical aspect, then they neglect all the other aspects. You know, sex to sexuals isn't going to get them through like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years with a person if all they're focused on is the sex. For asexuals, right, we still need to focus. Thanks for the thumbs up. Lots of love to you. We still need to focus on the other things as well, right? So for asexuals, we need to be focusing on other aspects of relationship, things that are going to bind us together, right? We can have different types of attractions for the personality, for the asexuals of the person. Maybe we like their smile, maybe we like their hair. We might feel romance towards them. We might feel strong platonic attraction towards them. We might just feel that, oh, their personality is so gorgeous that I just want to be with that person because I love that person. I love feeling, you know, being around them. I feel energized around them. I feel happy. They make me be a better version of myself. So when you're looking for a long, sustainable, committed relationship, you need to be looking for all the elements that aren't sex, actually. And that's why an asexual relationship has far better chance of succeeding if two people are both willing and wanting to be in a relationship. What I find a lot with the asexual community, with me being on asexual dating sites, is many people don't want commitment. I am absolutely shocked at the amount of asexuals that say they want a relationship because they're lonely and they really want to be with someone, yet they don't want commitment. There's not many I come across that's really serious about getting into a relationship. They're kind of too fearful, too afraid. But when they're afraid, a lot of the time they're thinking of traditional dating sites. It's like, don't bother even with traditional. Go on asexual dating sites. Go on ASAP, although there's a lot of sexuals on ASAP, so and scammers, unfortunately. But go on Facebook, go on Asexuality, and meet people when you can online through video chat, through phoning, not just and text. And when you can meet up, then you should be ready to meet up at the earliest opportunity. You do not want to be having just an internet relationship, because it could be wasting your time. The person that you see in front of you is not necessarily the true version of themselves. And so when you meet them up in person, it can be very, very different. And you don't want to waste your life away spending months and months getting to know a person, getting really close to them, and then you find out they're not who you thought they were, because you see them in their real world environment, not how they're portraying to you, right? So love is about two people, or more if you're polyamorous, two people coming together to actually say, hey, we're both different individuals. We both have our own lives, but we want to share parts of our lives with each other. We want to make each other a priority. You should be looking to spend daily contact with that person, getting to know them on video and voice chat. You should be making it a focal feature of your life to schedule time in for that person, quality time where you can talk through things, be together. And like, if you're thinking about a committed relationship, you should be talking about the future together. You should be already making plans together of what your possible future would look like, right? Because otherwise, where is it headed? You have to have a relationship headed somewhere. And you have to understand that love is about accepting someone with their flaws as well as their great bits, right? If you're going to be in a loving, healthy, committed, happy relationship, it's not about just showing your good side to the person all the time. It's about someone being there, truly loving you for you, with your flaws, with your disabilities or your illnesses or your quirks or your nuances or your awkwardness. It's about someone loving you for who you are with all those things, and saying, hey, I still want to talk to you. I still want to be with you. I still want to spend time with you because I love you for who you are, right? In a relationship, a serious committed relationship, you're going to have to work together. You're going to have to talk and discuss loads of scenarios that are going to come up. It could be someone else trying to get into the relationship. So I've found when I'm in a relationship or I've got a guy interested in me, two more pop up, right? Now, I am used to turning guys down. Right, but there's some people, they're not used to the attention. And believe me, usually when you get into a relationship, you'll have other people after you. It's like the law of attraction. When you become attractive to one person, more people want you. This is the way it works. So if you're not used to that kind of attention, you don't know how to deal with it. You might handle it the wrong way. So you've got to understand that if you want to get into a loving, caring, committed relationship, you've got to be prepared to say no to other people and not be worried about hurting their feelings, right? This is adultness, right? You have to be an adult about the situation and say, hey, I'm in a relationship, I'm committed, that's it. And when you're in a committed relationship, not everything's going to be smooth. If you love the person, you're going to feel their pain. You're going to be in touch with them empathetically, and you're going to feel it. When they are upset, you are going to feel it, and that can hurt you. You can be having a great day, and then all of a sudden your partner's upset and you're like, oh, I was having a really good day, right? But you have to understand that when you're in a loving, caring, committed relationship, if you really love the person, you're going to feel their heart. You're going to feel them in your heart, not in your genitalia, but in your heart. And you're going to be open and honest with each other. And it's going to be like you're having a virtual cuddle in a way, because you're going to transfer your heart to heart. And you're going to be open. You're going to be vulnerable. You're going to be scared at times. Everyone thinks a relationship is like in the movies and, oh, it's airy-fairy, like floating on air all the time. Like in my hyper-romanticism, I do feel like it's floating on air a lot of the time if I'm with someone who adores me as much as I adore them. But you're gonna feel their pain. You're gonna have them in a normal relationship. You would have someone coming home from work saying, "I had a shite day at work," to you maybe, and telling you their day and telling you their bad bits, right? You've got to be prepared for that. Your life is not just gonna, if you want to have something new in your life, you've got to be prepared to change or accept a change coming into your life. You can't expect someone to come into your life and not come with their own background, their own hobbies, their own interests, their own life, and their own problems and their own joys, right? So you have to be able to understand that relationships got to have two people that are like dancing together through the ups and downs of life together, not separate. Because when you start separating is when the love starts to diminish or feels like a kind of toxic or bad or uncomfortable love, right? So love has absolutely really sweet FA to do with sex, right? Sex is just something people do, sexuals usually, or asexuals if they're in relationships with sexuals and they're doing that. It's just a genitalia thing. It's actually got, it's some physical component that some people want in a relationship, right? But it has absolutely sweet FA to do with love. And the only time it's to do with a relationship and it doesn't work is because of compatibility. You have to be compatible physically, mentally, emotionally, and soul connected to a person. 4 areas, really, to be sustainable and having a wonderful, happy, healthy relationship. When I say wonderful, happy, healthy relationship, it's not always going to be roses, right? This isn't what I mean by happiness. Happiness is when you're with a person in a long-term, committed, loving relationship, and you're with them through the ups and downs, and you're like rocks for each other. You're like, whatever is happening in the outside world, we will tackle it together, and we will be there for each other. And you've got to understand, if you're going to get into a relationship, if you're going to want real, true love, you're going to have to change your life. You're going to have to change you to a certain extent. And that's scary to some people, but you can't stay the same, right? When you get into a relationship, you have to understand you've got to accommodate that person into your life. You've got to make room for them. You've got to make time for them if that's what you truly want. If you're not into that commitment, if you don't want it, then don't bother getting committed. Don't even pretend you want commitment, right? Because you shouldn't be doing that. You have to understand that when you're in a relationship, it's not just about all the lovey-dovey stuff. It's about liking the person's nuances, getting to know them, and riding the waves with them. Liam, I'm glad no one says those things to me. I don't want anyone in my life to say those things to me. I mean, you don't want a relationship, do you, Liam? You don't want a relationship at all. But we only live one life, right? And some of us do want relationships. Like, I have been hurt a lot. I've had my heart broken a lot of times, but I still believe in true love. I still believe I can find the right partner for me. I still believe that, because if I don't believe it, I will never get it. If you don't believe there's anyone out there for you, don't believe in soulmates, you don't believe there's anyone who can like you for you, that's what you'll get. Whatever you believe in life, you will get. And I will not let all the guys who have broken my heart in the years, I will not let them stop me from getting the love that I deserve from the right guy. Right? Because I'm on this planet Earth one time and one time only. And if I give up on love, love will give up on me. I believe in love. I see my asexual friends, 3 people who are my asexual friends, all in loving, caring, committed relationships with other asexuals. All of them. All 3 of them, these people I know, these people I've met in person. One's my best friend. All 3 of them. Serious, loving, happy, healthy, committed relationships, right? And they are the happiest people they've ever been because they're in those relationships. They had some of them were fine already, but they are so much better for being in the relationship. And that's how it should be. A relationship should enhance your life. The person should be your rock and you theirs, Liam, no, the less people to me, the better. Yeah, I know you're not interested in a relationship, Liam. You're not interested in anyone. I know that about you. Not relationships aren't for everyone, but I'm trying to say in this video that sex is not the same as love. And most people that talk about love are talking about some sort of relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be platonic, right? And some asexuals, they don't want relationships. So like you, Liam, they're aromantic, lack romantic attraction, not interested in a relationship. But I want to put this video out there because it's something that You know, I'm finding it very difficult personally when I'm trying to look for the right asexual guy, because I'm finding that not many asexual guys are committed and not many asexual guys have experience of relationships. You know, they don't understand them on a fundamental level. They only understand them on a micro snippet level. They don't understand, because I've been in committed relationships for years before. I understand how they work. I know the dynamics of them. So I have kind of like certain expectations of how things will work, because I know how it works, right? Even though I haven't found the right guy for me, I still know how a relationship works. And there are so many people in the world that kind of, if they do get into relationships, they get into them for wrong reasons, because they feel lonely, because they, you know, can't live on their own, because they, you know, they get into it because they think it'd be a nice idea. Or they kind of have these relationships where they're not really in relationships, but they are, but they're not. It's kind of like no man's land. It's because they don't want the commitment. They still want the benefits of a relationship. Friends with benefits, basically, whether that's asexual benefits or sexual benefits. You know what I mean? And, you know, if you want sustainable love, it's all about the long game. It's all about the fact that you aren't going to be happy together all the time. Especially if you love someone, you're going to feel that person's pain. When they are upset or depressed, you are going to feel that. You're going to feel that in your heart. You're going to feel that in your soul. And you're going to want to try and help them. Sometimes you're going to feel helpless, because there might be certain situations you can't help. They might have a family member that's no longer with them, for example. They might have something go on in their work that you can't help, but you can help them just by being there for them, just by giving them a cuddle, just by being in their life, you know? This is true love, right? I haven't met the right asexual guy for me. I haven't met the right person for me to be in a romantic, loving, caring, committed relationship with me. It's not happening for me. Maybe I'm going to be single forever. That might be a reality for me. But if I can't find the right guy, I'm going to be single, because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm not with the right guy. Do you know what I mean? And so many people, I guess, don't appreciate when they've got a golden star in front of them. Like, I'm so glad now that my best asexual friend has finally got someone in a loving, caring, committed relationship with them who actually would do like tons for them. You know what I mean? Who loves them so much back that they would just like do things that they're uncomfortable with, not sexual things. Like they both have like, you know, anxiety. So the person would do something that might be a bit, you know, that might be anxious for them, because they love them that much and realize that circumstances might dictate that they've kind of got to do certain things in some instances. They're both, you know, they're both asexual. They're not interested in sex stuff. So I'm not talking about that. And I can't talk about anything else because there's no private conversations. But I'm just saying, you know, like going into a relationship requires you to get out of your comfort zone. It requires you to, but life, you know, if you stay in your comfort zone all your life, you never expand into the beautiful world of life, right? You keep small. You don't want to keep small in your life. You get one life. Some people haven't even got their life anymore, right? So you need to learn, develop, and grow yourself and face your fears head on sometimes. Liam, you definitely don't deserve to be single. Oh, thank you, Liam. I mean, I do like being single, but I really wished I could meet the right asexual guy for me. I mean, I recently liked a British guy. I don't know if you followed my channel, Liam. And I was heartbroken. I'll admit, a British guy, I never thought I'd ever have strong feelings for a British guy like that, right? And it's, you know, it's taken me over a week to even get over the initial, like, upset and pain. Like, well, it's only recently, like, probably, like, yesterday, that I kind of started feeling okay about it, you know? And so it's probably taken me like nearly a week and a half, well, over a week anyway, over 7 or 8 days to actually get the bulk of my upset out, you know? And so, you know, I was really devastated because I thought this person really liked me. I thought we had a connection. But you know what I mean? That they just weren't the right person for me, you know, non-committal, couldn't give any direction to where the future might lead for me and them. And so definitely not the right person, you know, the right guy wouldn't even hesitate. And so, you know, I wish them well. I hope they find someone near where they live, which I think is what they really want anyway. And, you know, I think they liked me as a person. Well, they more than liked me, but, you know, it is what it is, you know, at the end of the day. I still think they're a lovely person, but it's just that I was really heartbroken, to be quite honest with you, and I didn't think I'd be like that over a British guy. I even thought the guy might be my British soulmate, and so that was really hard for me, and obviously now I'm still like kind of a little bit like about it, but I'm getting better. I don't feel so bad as I did before because like for me, if I feel for someone, it's not artificial. It's not like, oh, well, I like you and I'm attracted to you or have feelings for you just because you're in front of me. I don't do that rubbish where, oh, you've got, like it's artificial rubbish. If I care about someone, I have feelings for them, I care about them with all my heart. Do you know what I mean? I feel for them. I allow myself to be vulnerable with that person. If that person ends up not being the right person, that is, it does hurt. But at the end of the day, they chose not to commit to me. They chose not to give me any direction. They basically they disqualify themselves from being in a relationship with me. So it wasn't me who kind of like, I just made the decision that I've got to move on because obviously if they can't give me anything, there's nothing to get. They're giving me nothing. Then apart from like acting like they're in a relationship with me when they're not, and there's no sign that they want to actually definitely be in a relationship with me in the future and it's going nowhere, then they self-disqualify themselves. So it's not really me. I haven't disqualified them. I've just chosen to walk away because I'm not going to stay in a situation with someone who's getting all the benefits of being in a relationship without actually being in one with me. I mean, that's just wrong on every level for any person to do that. You should not ever be putting yourself in a position where another person's acting like you're in a relationship, but yet they're giving you no commitment whatsoever. So they get all the benefits of what it'd be like to be with you in a relationship without actually being in one. And that is ridiculous because then you can't look and move on for someone else. So obviously I've had to leave that situation and move on to, at the moment I'm just trying to get over that person and go back to being back in my center and my heart again and back in my own life and, like moving forward with my career. It does teach you everything. Every person that comes into your life, they do teach you something. I mean, this person I was friends with since June. It's not like I've just known them. So I guess it hurts more, but we've got to know each other a lot more over the last previous month, etc. So it's, it was really hard for me. I'm sure it's hard for them in lots of ways, but it was their kind of like they made the decision really. I just made the decision to walk after, they made the decision to like let me go basically. So, that's okay. I know they're a lovely person. I still think they're a lovely person, it's just one of those things really, but it's very painful, and I think, people really don't understand what goes into a loving, caring, committed relationship. They don't really get it. It's time, it's energy, it's effort, it's wanting that person in your life. Obviously that person was not the right person for me. So I mean it's good in a way because I've freed myself up now to carry on moving forward with my life and meet a guy who's gonna really worship worship time with me and really want to see me and really like move things forward and really I definitely want Sandra, so it's good because it's better to know now rather than later and having been continued in that situation for months. That's why I was asking them difficult questions, and that's another thing that people don't do when you're looking to get into a relationship, when you're looking to get into a loving, caring, committed relationship. You need to be asking all the tough questions, no matter what sexuality you are. You need to be asking things like, do you want sex? Do you want marriage? Do you want kids? Are you a mover? Are you non-mover? Where do you see us being in a relationship together in a few years' time? You obviously shown me your interest in a relationship. You've basically shown that you like me more than friends. So where do you see us in a year's time, in 5 years' time? If they can't answer that, they don't see you in their future, and the situation's upsetting you because you want something, you want a type of relationship that they can't give you, you have to move on. Liam, I am one of the few 30-something-year-olds that has never experienced heartbreak. That's very interesting, Liam. When you say heartbreak, are you talking about relationship heartbreak or are you talking about heartbreak in your life? Because just because you haven't been in a relationship doesn't mean to say you haven't had your heart broken. Do you know what I mean? It's very interesting. I just wondered. But I mean, it's good if you haven't experienced heartbreak. But You know, in order for me to get a relationship that I want, I have to experience heartbreak. I have to go through heartbreak, be heartbroken, because I'm never going to find the right guy if I stay with the wrong one, or if I stay interested in the wrong one. Do you know what I mean? Like, it takes a great degree of bravery to pursue a relationship. It's not easy. You're going to have heartbreak, you're going to have pain, you're going to have upset. But the alternative, staying in your comfort zone, not doing anything with your life, not actually, you know, like, I think ahead, right? I think about the next, you know, like 30, 40 years or whatever. I don't mind being single. I like being single. It might turn out that I am forever single, but I believe I've got a soulmate. I still think I've got an Indian soulmate. I always have done, always will do. Nothing's going to change that. You know, like even the British guy that I really liked a lot, it didn't change the fact that I had an Indian soulmate. I just thought, well, maybe I've got two. Maybe I've got a British one and an Indian one. You know what I mean? But nothing's going to change that because it's something I intuitively know in my heart is right. I believe myself. I trust myself on that. So hopefully, you know, I will meet. I definitely believe my soulmate is like foreign in the least if he's not Indian, but I believe it's Indian, you know. So, you know, like this particular person taught me a lot in the sense that I just thought to myself, you know, when I was thinking things, I thought lots of different things, obviously. I'm not going to say everything, but I thought, you know, myself, you know, what changes can I make in my life? You know, if I was to get into a relationship with that particular person right that moment, for example, just for example, like I'm still sorting my finances out because I've gone into a store sales manager role now. I'm a full-time store sales manager role. So it's quite a lot of responsibility, huge store. And so we're doing a lot of training at the moment. We're doing a lot of stuff, but I mean, we go into lockdown on Thursday, so I'm going to be a month off work, furloughed, right? So that's going to be really interesting. It means I can hopefully do a lot more work on my Asexual Guide to Sex book, and I've got other stuff I need to be doing. A lot of stuff I've got to do. So it's kind of come at the right time for me, because much, you know, like really has. And so, you know, I was thinking to myself, you know, I'd like to get my finances sorted more, excuse me, and probably I need to clear some stuff in my room, like get rid of some stuff, like sell some stuff, more stuff, make way for new energies, because I've got quite a lot of old energies with stuff people have bought me in the past. So, you know, I just thought, like, I always look to, like, what can I learn from the experience? You know, even if it's a heartbreaking experience, what can I learn? What can I learn about myself? How can I reflect? What can I learn? Thank you for the thumbs up. Lots of love. You know, what can I learn about this experience, right? Liam, mainly relationship heartbreak. Depression was the only thing that broke me. Yeah, depression can be horrible. So, you know, I always think that I've learned stuff about myself, you know. Eddie, more thumbs up are needed. Oh, lots of love, Eddie. Yeah, thank you. I wonder who just came along and gave me thumbs up. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So yeah, so I was saying about, you know, I believe everyone comes into your life and teaches you something, you know. And although I recently had my heart broken, I did learn to reflect on myself and my own life, like what can I improve, what can I do better. And, you know, like I do have something called relationship anxiety anyway, but I do think if I find the right guy, probably I won't be so anxious, because I need a guy who super knows what he wants, and he wants me. If you're with someone who's not sure what they want and they're not giving you any direction or hope for the future, you can't really be secure with a person who's unsure. Because the word unsure means it's an insecure thing they're doing or giving you. Is they're not sure. They can't give you any certainty. They're unsure. Unsure is like a rocky road, isn't it? So I've learned, you know, I've even learned from my past that, you know, it's not my fault if I feel insecure with someone who's unsure, doesn't know what the hell they want, because there's no way a person can be in a secure relationship with someone who's like got scales going on like this in their life, not sure, not sure, not sure, not sure, not sure, up and down all the time. You can't be secure like that, and that's not the fault of you. That's just the way things are. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's not, you know, if the person's just unsure, they're unsure. Some people can be unsure. It's not saying that there's anything bad about that person. It's just saying they're not good right now for you to be in a relationship with, because they don't know what the F they want, and they don't understand themselves probably, or what they're feeling or thinking. Do you know what I mean? So, but true love is when you are supportive of each other and you know that you want to be with each other. You make a commitment to be with that person and not with other people if you're monogamous, you know, and you are there for the rough and the smooth with them. You know, like, you know, like one of my friends are like, we were talking. I can't say much about what we're talking about, but in terms of relationships, I was saying, well, if you're in a relationship, the person comes home from work tired, and so you can't always have like the best bits of them. Basically, you can't always be like you can't always have quality time because they might be tired. I said, yeah, but that's a real relationship. A real relationship is when someone does come in from work and they're tired and they've had a hard day at work. It's reality. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to get a relationship where if they're working hard and they're doing a full-time job, they are going to be tired. I'm more tired lately. You might have noticed for a couple of days, I think it was last week, I didn't stream because I was just falling asleep because I have got a full-time job now, which is hard on my body, hard on my mind. So, like I mean, I'm grateful I've got a job when loads of people haven't, but it takes some time adjusting as well because I've worked from home for the last 3 years, but a real relationship means you're gonna have reality in your life. That's the whole point of a real relationship. But if you just imagine having someone who loves you for who you are with your flaws and good points and who will work with you in order to have a beautiful relationship, who will you can do your own thing, they'll do their own thing, but you can spend quality time together and stuff like that. It's just really important. And this is what true love's about. It's not about genitalia or how much sex you are or are not having. It's about two people basically spending quality time together, committing to each other, agreeing they're just going to be with each other, no one else if they're monogamous, exclusive, and putting the time, energy, and effort in to make it work. And they're going to feel each other's pain, right? If you're an empathetic person who's sensitive, kind, caring, you're going to feel the other's pain. That's the whole point. Liam, you're a hardworking, beautiful, intelligent woman. Thank you, Liam. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Even though I totally agree with you, even though I do that, I still managed to fit my friends in. My close best friends, I still managed to Skype or voice chat with them, So I've got a really hectic schedule, and then I still managed to fill that in because, it's the same with if I was in a relationship. I have to make time for that person. Some people are like, oh, well, I'm really interested in you. I really am romantically attracted to you, really like you, but I don't want to change my life. And it's like, well, if you don't want to change your life, don't bother getting into a relationship, because by default, getting in a relationship with another person is going to change your life. And even if you have a person come into your life that you feel attraction for, but you didn't before, that is a change anyway. Change is inevitable. Life, the only constant you have in life is change. Life changes. You can either make change happen for you or you can have it happen to you. I say make change happen for you. You pick the person who you think would be best for you and you be best for them. And so many asexuals are like, oh, I don't want to travel outside of my city. I can't find anyone in my city. Well, yes, you've got an option. You stay saying that all your life, or you do something about it and get your butt out of your city. Do you know what I'm saying? People have got choices. It's their choice to stay where they are in their life, right? If you want the best in life, you've got to get out of your comfort zone. I mean, I think years ahead, right? Years ahead, a lot of asexuals, they won't have their parents or their siblings, or their siblings might be off and married to someone else and have kids or whatever and move away. They won't have their parents. Their parents won't always be around, right? So if you really want to look for someone like in a relationship, like for years, that you need to be like kind of like working up to that, thinking, what's that going to look like? Not relying on all the things that are in your life now to necessarily be there still in years to come. You're going to think about, what do I want? That's why I don't give up on true love, because I honestly believe true love exists. I believe it exists for anyone who wants it, And even if I get my heart broken, I'll still get back up again, because that's the type of person I am. Do you know what I mean? I won't let some person defeat that. I won't let my heart be broken and just never mend. Because at the end of the day, I'm still a whole person on my own right. I still love myself. I still adore my life. Just for me, I don't just not stop speaking to someone and my feelings stop like that, because to me, that's not real love. That's artificial. It's just artificial nonsense. Do you know what I mean? If you love someone and really care about them, those feelings carry on. You just have to work your way through stuff in order to deplete them so that you're not, so they're not affecting you. So with me, because I'm a hyper romantic, my feelings for guys, for example, they don't usually totally go away to about 8 months. That's a long time. And some guys, they never go away for. If I stop talking to them, then the feelings, not really, they can go as much as possible, but they're kind of like a lot of the time they're dormant, so that if the person comes back into my life, they just get reactivated again. But to all intents and purposes, they're kind of gone in the moment, but they're kind of dormant, you know what I mean? So it's difficult. But yeah, so real love is about like sharing every day with each other, like I like a lot of kissing, as you know, but I can't be in a relationship and just have kissing. That isn't a sustainable, loving, caring, committed relationship. All I'm doing with meeting a guy and kissing him, to me, that's too, I love kissing a lot, but I won't just do physical stuff with a guy, because I have to like their personality. I have to like being in their company. I have to like walking with them, talking with them, eating with them, drinking with them, feeling comfortable in my own skin around them, being myself around them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't just have a relationship just based on kissing, because again, that's just a physical based relationship. You can't live on physicality all the time, whether you're asexual or sexual or whatever sexual orientation you are. There has to be an element of personality compatibility. There has to be an element of life goals, ambitions, and dreams compatibility. This is what true love's about. It's about finding someone who's the most closest match for your compatibility in every which way you can possibly get. And someone who understands you. Like most of the guys I come across, the number one thing they need is to be understood. But what I have to do is I have to look for a guy who really wants to be with me for me. Right? Usually I'm kind of thinking what I can do for the guy, like how much I can love him, how much I can be there for him, how much I can be a good person for him, how much I can like be there when, and kind of like a lot of the time I kind of put the emphasis on me there for him, but he needs to be there for me. Because this is a two-way street. You can't have someone that's putting all that energy and effort in and trying to make it work and the other person not, because it's just not right. You know what I mean? So I haven't, if I look back, I just haven't met anyone who's suitable for me in a relationship. Do you know what I mean? Sense they're just not, but that's okay. It's the way it goes. Liam, that's how I see my future. That's why I don't want to be in the world very long. But then you can change your future, can't you, Liam? You can change your future, but it requires courage to change your life and to change yourself. Requires a lot of courage. It's not easy, but the only person who can change your life is you. A lot of people don't want to get out of their comfort zone. It's a psychology thing. So basically, when the pain of your current relationship, the pain of your current relationship, or current circumstances, I should have said, when the pain of your current circumstances is higher than the courage needed to change your life, you'll change your life. But when the pain of change is higher than staying the same, will stay the same. I never changed my life till 2012. I was depressed and I had a lot of suicidal thoughts and I was crying a lot, and it used to be really bad throughout childhood a lot of the time. Not every single time, but throughout the childhood a lot, I was crying a lot. And then, as the year went by, I still used to be depressed, even though I used to be years ago in management roles and stuff. So it's kind of weird, because I kind of like couldn't show that side to me at work, but I didn't like my life and I didn't like myself very much back then. But in 2012 I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is truly what saved my life, because it was that stopped me talking negatively to myself and completely changed my life around. So pretty much everyone in the world hates having fibromyalgia. It's a chronic pain condition that affects the nerves and muscles of the body. It isn't pleasant in lots of ways, but I manage it super well and it saved my life. If I hadn't got fibromyalgia, I would be still, well, God knows where I would be. I do not know where I'd be if I hadn't got that. It was that diagnosis that made me change my life, because the pain of the threat of losing my mobility, so being on crutches or in a wheelchair, that threat to my freedom was something I just wasn't prepared to have. And so I just stopped the negativity, because I realised after 6 months of coming to terms with the fact I have fibromyalgia for life, I realised that the negative self-talk would manifest itself in pain in my body and it would cripple me. So I would end up putting myself on crutches or in a wheelchair, it would be my own fault because of my negative self-talk. And I either stopped it before I got to that, or I carried on and put myself basically into like an early grave where I couldn't, where I'd be on crutches or in a wheelchair, and I wouldn't have mobility, and I'd lose my precious life basically to being like that. And it would be all my own fault. And I was not prepared to do that. So I basically told depression to take, and this negative self-talk to take a hike, and I was never ever ever going to go back to being depressed again. That doesn't mean to say I don't have down days, like days that don't go so well or a bit upsetting or painful, but I don't get into that depressed black hole anymore. I won't let myself go there. I have to you have to maintain. It's hard because I have to constantly maintain my happiness all the time and my positivity, which I say it's hard. Sometimes it's easy, but sometimes it's harder. So it's really, really important that you look after yourself and love yourself in order to love someone else. That's another big thing to love. Love's got really absolutely zilch to do with sex. Sex is just something some people want to do and others don't, to be quite frank with you. I have never understood really why love and sex are put together. It's ridiculous. They're two completely separate things. You do not need to have sex to be in a loving, caring, committed, happy, healthy relationship for life. You really do not. The difference is compatibility. So if you've got a person who really wants a lot of sex and someone who doesn't want any, that's not compatibility. That's not compatible. But it's not actually the sex itself that's needed in a relationship. It's the compatibility that's needed. And in this case, it's different sexual needs. So that wouldn't be suitable, right? So do you know what I'm saying? It's very important that you understand that sex is not love, and it really isn't. And so many people don't understand what it takes to be in a real relationship. You've got to have someone who's gonna want to be in a relationship, who's gonna actually love being in a relationship. But I look at the long picture. I mean, some people, they kind of want to stay in the state of mind that, oh, well, I'm living with my parents now, or it's like, and I'm comfortable here in this spot. It's like, yeah, you might be comfortable, but that ain't gonna be around forever. It's just the truth. And so unless you make provisions for yourself about what you really want in your life, and want someone around for life, then you know what I mean? You're not really preparing for your own future. You're too busy, it's good to live in the now, but it's also good to prepare for the future as well. But I mean, even if I'm single forever, it's not gonna be an end of the world, because I live on my own for years anyway. I've lived here for 16 years now, 6 years. So I've lived on my own for 16 years. It's not like I can't take care of myself. And I'm used to being on my own anyway. And I don't want to live with someone because I find it very, very, very difficult. If I did live with someone, it would be weird. I don't know, I'd probably have to section a house off or something. But I always prefer living on my own because I'm used to it. I like it. I like my own space. But I would want someone to come and live around the corner from me, ideally, would be great. So I could see them and we could be close to each other, but we could still go back to our own separate spaces and places. So we have that kind of our own life and lifestyle, if you know what I mean. Liam, I've always hated myself, so a good thing I don't want a relationship. Well, yeah, you can't hate yourself and be in a relationship because it won't, you know what I mean? It's, you're basically telling someone, don't be in a relationship with me because I hate myself, it's no good. You have to work on your self-love, I mean, you're young. I don't know why you don't try to enjoy life and change your life around, and start loving yourself, because there's no, the only person that can stop hating yourself is you. I don't want you to hate yourself. Do you know what I mean? I don't want you to hate yourself and think about not being in life for very long. Do you know what I mean? I want you to change your life. I want you to realize there are good people out there. I've got some great asexual friends. I've got some really good close friends, and that's come about because of asexuality as well. Do you know what I mean? People I really trust with my life, people I value highly, people who want to spend time with me and travel miles to see me. That's why I don't want to accept any less in a relationship. Do you know what I mean? My best friends will come and travel far and wide. They're not even interested in a relationship with me. Do you know what I mean? Apart from a friendship, So it's very, very important that we understand that love and sex are two completely different things. And the asexuality, a lot of people that are asexual don't get the need, urge, or want for sex. It's not something that computes in their mind, their brain. Don't naturally feel that way, and that is okay, And it really, really annoys me when I see people going, "Oh, well, if you're not having sex, then why do you want a relationship?" It's because I'm just as entitled to a relationship without sex as someone is with sex. Sex is not what a relationship is made of. A relationship is actually determined and defined by the two people in it, not about how much sex you are or are not having. It's ridiculous. It's all backwards standards. And it's completely wrong, like if you want sex, that's fair enough, and another person doesn't. You go and find someone who wants sex as much as you, right? But at the end of the day, that isn't love. There'll be times even when sexual people can't have sex. They might have had a hard day at work and they don't feel like having sex. Their partner can still love them, or they should love them still, regardless of if they're doing that or not, because that's normal reality. It's like with me, I love kissing, but I realise when I'm with a guy, I'm not going to be kissing him absolutely every single second or minute of the day. Because like I said, if it was just based on kissing, I'd feel like, well, you don't like my personality. And I feel awkward, I'd be like, well, my personality is the most important thing. Because at the end of the day, looks change and you can't always kiss. And you're going to be away from each other sometimes. So you've got to know that the person's going to be like spiritually bonded to you, emotionally bonded to you, like you for your personality. Liam, I hope it's over in the next 10 years. Well, that would be a shame, Liam. I hope you get some therapy, Liam, because I think, it'd be good for you to have some therapy. I hope you're working through this stuff because, I think you should love yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, just be you. Just come out and be the real you and don't hide yourself. It's very important. I wish everyone to be happy in this world. I wish everyone, however they want to be happy, whether it's being single, in a relationship, having good friends, I just want people to be happy. I honestly wish that the person who I did feel heartbroken of recently, I honestly wish and hope that he finds a beautiful person to be in a relationship with, someone who will love him and care about him and really want to be with him, and that he feels exactly the same way about them, and he just makes them so happy. I want everyone to be happy. Even if I don't get a relationship myself, so long as all my friends are in, thanks for the thumbs up, so long as all my friends are in there, as long as all my friends are in a loving, caring, committed relationship and they're all happy, then I'll be happy. I'll be a little bit sad that I haven't got someone that I thought I'd get, because I think myself is important as well. But I know that I'm strong enough to be okay on my own, whereas some people, they seek kind of more being in a relationship because they can't cope very much on their own as well. So I cope really well on my own a lot of the time, but I need my friends. I do need my friends. And so it's very important that I speak to them and interact with them. Obviously, I can't really see them at the moment because of social distancing. But it's very important to have, online communication, phone calls and stuff. And we can see each other when we can, So, I've never experienced such friendship love as I do right now in my life, I even have two other asexuals that do write emails to me. They only write about once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, but it's still nice they keep in contact with me, They're writing me really long emails about their life and stuff, and I really appreciate that. I feel loved. Even if it's not in a romantic way, I feel loved as in a friendship way. I feel, these people really care about me. They're taking time out their day to write me quite a lot of paragraphs in an email, telling me about their life, asking me about mine. And I just feel like loved in a friendship way. I feel like, like these people are taking time out of their busy schedules, because I know they're both busy, these people, and the people that are meant to be in your life will always stay in your life. The people that are not meant to be in life will go from it. You might only have someone come in your life for a very short period of time and go out of it again. Or you might just have someone that stays there forever and they're always there, no matter what for you, This is how love and life works, do you know what I mean? But love has absolutely nothing to do with sex. And I just makes me quite mad that people think they do. It's completely different. Sex will not sustain loving, happy, healthy, committed relationship for years, even though some people base it on that, because there'll be cracks, there'll be things that you're not compatible on, there'll be kind of a longing in your soul. I mean, for me, getting into a relationship is a very daunting thing. Actually being in a relationship is very difficult because I have relationship anxiety. But I think the right person, the person who's really highly compatible for me and gives me the type of relationship that I'm looking for, I think I wouldn't have so much anxiety, because I'll be like, oh, well, I've got actually what I want, so there's nothing to be anxious about. And they know what they want, they're very secure in themselves and know what they want. And I kind of like, I guess I need to look for the right relationship rather than just focusing on certain guys. I need to look for the right person to be related. I don't see it happening for a long time. Probably be like 10 years or more. But it's okay. Hey, I can just share my 10 years of life experience on this channel. Do you know what I mean? But I'm sure there's a lot of great things ahead for me. I think my career really, I think maybe with the career I've got and going to be doing more and more of, I think that maybe I'm more suited to a single type of lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? I guess I've got so many ambitions that I want to do. And I think, the powers that be, sometimes they kind of like, well, you're not ready for a relationship right now. I want you to be doing this and focus on this. So do you know what I mean? Liam, the less people know me, the better. You're an awesome person. Those people that have you as a friend are very lucky people. Well, I like you being here, Liam. I mean, you're one of my YouTube friends, aren't you? So, I do think of you as a YouTube friend and I like to see you. Do you know what I mean? Thank you very much for saying that about me. But you're my YouTube friend. I mean, I do look out for you. When you come on, I'm like, oh, there's Liam back again. That's so sweet, because I know you're very supportive to me and a lot of asexuals. So I've noticed you on quite a few of the videos that I watch on other channels. I've noticed that you're in the comments on there as well. So you're always supporting asexuals. Do you know what I mean? I think that's really nice that you do that. So, and I do think it's really nice. I think, you're a lovely person. So, I don't think you should feel down about yourself all the time. I think you should try and work on your self-esteem and self-love, because, I'm sure you've got a lot of awesome qualities because I see them, Thank you very much for saying lucky people, but, I'm lucky as well to have them, in my life. And it's just nice, isn't it? At the end of the day, I think everything happens for a reason in life. I honestly believe that. Believe everything happens for a reason, no matter what, whether it's good, bad, upsetting, painful, strange, interesting, not nice. Everything teaches us something, I'm sure. And and I think, when you're in a relationship as well, if you get into a relationship, or even if you just love someone, love teaches you a lot. Relationships teach you a lot about yourself, about your life. They expose you as well to vulnerabilities. They expose you to anxiety and nervousness and pain. They expose you to a lot of emotions, actually. But kind of like, you're going to have a lot of emotions if you're really getting seriously interested and romantically or emotionally attached to the person, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? So, I think relationships aren't easy all the time, but I do want people to be happy. I want everyone who wants to be in a relationship, especially asexuals, because obviously it's this channel for asexuals. I want you all to be happy. I want you to be in loving, caring, committed relationships and to feel the warmth of the person, to feel them hugging you and cuddling you and know that you're loved and special for who you are and without the sex. And, I just want everyone to be happy, because that's what life's about, isn't it? Being happy. At the end of the day, life is about being happy. We're all on planet Earth to be happy. So that's kind of what we should be striving for. But it can take a long time to be happy. And obviously we've got to generate happiness within ourselves now. Like some of my work colleagues, and they were like really stressing out about the fact we're going to lockdown again in the UK. And and they were stressing out about it and stuff, which, do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we're being furloughed to be off our day jobs. And for me, I'm thinking, well, it's good because I'm still getting paid whilst I'm not going into work. But this time that I'm not going into my day job, I can be using on my self-employment stuff and my writing and other things that I have to do. I've got a lot of my own self-employment work I need to get done, which I haven't been able to do so much of because I've been in the full-time job, which is very tiring. So it means I can get that done. And at the end of the day, it means it's less exposure to people who potentially could have the V. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a really good thing. And that's what I mean about being positive. I always like to be positive, and appreciation and gratitude is a lot. So basically, as this video states, this video is about, love not being the same as sex. And, like when you love someone, you kind of like need to make sure you're constantly appreciating them, being in your life, being grateful. When you stop appreciating them or stop being grateful and start taking them for granted, that's when a lot of relationships start failing, because they don't appreciate each other anymore. They take each other for granted. The feelings and emotions that person has for you, like, I really love you, I feel really romantic for you, I really care about you, it kind of falls like on a deaf ear, like a wall being put up, like a brick wall. And so whereas you might have said, oh my God, you love me, that's so beautiful, thank you very much, I really appreciate you being in my life, I really care about you, I really want to make something happen, I really want to move forward with this relationship, instead of doing that, they kind of think, oh, right, I've got this person that's attracted to me or interested in a relationship with me, but yeah, no, I'm not feeling great about that now. And they stop believing or thinking about why they were attracted or got into a relationship or get onto the stage with that person in the first place. And the danger is when you're in a relationship for a long time, you can take people for granted. You can take each other for granted. Oh, I've got the person now, don't need to make an effort. And that's the wrong attitude to have all the time. When you're in a relationship, you should be developing and growing as individuals and as people together, always moving the relationship forward. So even if you're in a relationship, you should be having date nights. You should be making sure, if you can't have in-person date nights, you should be having like setting dates ahead in advance, so you've got something to look forward to together, and you've got like commitment being showed and ongoing communication. Like, let's have a date night once a week at a specific time and date, or let's like book in the next session for the next week. But this is what you should be doing, and taking each other for granted is not a good thing. So it's very important, that we just appreciate what we've got now in life, and we look to the present moment, but the future as well, and how we would like our future to be. So during lockdown and whatever's happening, you've got time to reflect and to literally work out what you want in your life, and to try different things as well in your life, So maybe you haven't done any painting for a while, you buy some paints online and start painting again in your own home. Or maybe there's friends you need to catch up with by video chat or by phone call, there's a lot that we can do. But the whole point is whatever happens in your life, whatever people come into life, it's always lessons that you can learn. It's always things you can reflect about yourself. And I think life's beautiful, I really do think life's beautiful. I think love is so beautiful as well. When I see my friends all in love with their asexual partners, my asexual friends, and they're having loving, caring, committed relationships, got no sex involved whatsoever, and I see them just so happy forever, and I'm just so happy for them. Do you know what I mean? When I see a lot of asexuals that are struggling, like I struggle myself, to find the right guy, but I see that it really happens, and they find their actual soulmate. I mean, these people are soulmates. You can tell they're soulmates because they just click, they just bond and gel, and they're familiar with each other. They are meant to have been together. Do you know what I mean? When you've got that type of relationship, you can see that type of relationship, and overall they make themselves so happy as much as possible, and they're always grateful and thankful and trying to work things out together. It's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So don't anyone ever tell you that you can't have loving, caring, committed relationship without sex, because it simply isn't true. It simply isn't true. John, Sam, and Ralph are my three friends that are actually having loving, committed, no sex ever relationship. John is married to their asexual wife. Hello, you two. And Ralph's got an asexual fiance, and Sam's in a life partnership now. So, do you know what I mean? It can really happen. Right, but when it does happen, you better be ready for it. I've said this on previous videos, you better be ready for it. I even don't think I'm probably totally ready for it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to prepare now for my future partner, but it's like, I'm not really going to be ready for it. I think maybe I'm actually not as ready as I need to be. I think I need to sort my career out a bit more, my finances out a little bit more. I'm making headway because I've got a full-time job now, employed job besides doing my self-employment, so I've got regular income. So that's good. I'm making headway, but I still think there's lots I can do. And I think there's a lot of career stuff I can do. So, prepare yourself for love, prepare yourself for love without sex. Think what it'd be like to have that person in your life. How are you going to show up for that person? What are you going to do? So if you're looking for a relationship without sex, if you're asexual, then you need to be thinking, what will that relationship look like? Where will they live? What will you do? Will they live with you? Will they not live with you? Will you travel? Will you commute? What type of dynamic would you have? Would you be messaging each other in the morning, throughout the day, in the evening? Because you should be having daily contact if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship. You should be getting to the stage where you're progressing the relationship or potential relationship forward. You're speaking to more and more. You're in each other's lives more and more. Do you know what I mean? Because you want to be. Because you want to be in their life as if you were actually with them. You know, even if you can't see them in person all the time. So it's very important that you look at all these aspects of love, the aspects of compatibility, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. 4 areas you need to be compatible on, right? And you have to have things in common, commonalities, common hobbies, common interests. These are all the type of things that make up a loving, happy, healthy, committed relationship. And you have to know the realism of a relationship. There's going to be times when that person comes in from work and they're feeling absolutely shite, excuse my language. They're not going to be in a good mood. They shouldn't be taking it out on you. They shouldn't be shouting at everything like that. But they might be in like saying, I'm not in a good mood now. Do you know what I mean? And so there's going to be times when they do stuff in their life that maybe you don't like and they've got to do it on their own. You've got to do your stuff when you prefer. Do you know what I mean? But the whole point of a real relationship, true love, is basically having someone in your life that you know adores you for who you are and will stand by you and understand you and be there for you. Do you know what I mean? That's the point of love, not sex. And so when you've got that special person, that rare gem, you know, remember they are a rare, beautiful gem and see them for the golden jewel they are. And just cherish them always. You know, I think it's really important. But I've said this and I'll say it again. Love yourself is the most important thing, because the most important relationship is with you. Because you have got to be with yourself 24/7, 365 days a year. So if you don't love yourself, that's what you need to work on first and foremost. Because if you don't, then it's not going to be such a nice life. So you need to work on yourself. Most important thing. Anyway, I hope you've liked this video all about, you know, love without sex, basically, and that sex is definitely not love. And I hope I've given you some really deep insights into what love actually is and looks like, you know. And anyway, I want to say thank you very much, Liam, for taking part tonight's chat. I've really appreciated being here, Liam. And thank you, Edu. Really appreciate your thumbs up as well. And Abdallah, thank you so much. It's lovely to see you. And if you've got any more comments, queries or questions, please post them down below in the comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with anyone you think may benefit from it and wants to hear it right now. And I'll see you on the next video live stream. Liam, love you, Sandra. Awesome live stream. Thank you, Liam. Lots of love to you. Big hugs for you. Lots of love. Take care. I'll see you on the next video live stream. Brace your quirky on each other's. Bye-bye.